All right, so let's say you wanted to learn a little bit of Japanese, right? And in these videos, I'm not going to teach you everything there is about Japanese. I'm just going to teach you a few phrases that you can use to get along, or at least learn a few things about the animes that you're watching every single day while eating popcorn and sitting on the couch and not really doing the work you're supposed to do. So we're just going to go over a few phrases. But let's do this in a scenario. Okay, so you're meeting someone and you want to show them that you know a little bit Japanese. The first thing you're probably going to want to say is hello, right? So you walk up to someone, you want to say hello. And how do we say that in Japanese? We basically say it like this: Konichiwa. Konnichiwa. That's how you say hello in Japanese. Now, if I were to write that out, I'm going to phonetically write that out. I'm going to say Konnichiwa. Now, you don't necessarily write it out in separate pieces like this. You can just write it all out and just say it all in one shot. Konichiwa. Don't worry about particles and all these other things just yet. It's Konichiwa, and in Japanese you can write things in different forms. And in this form, we can actually write this in something called hiragana. And I'm not going to go into depth with that right now, maybe later on. But if I were to write this in hiragana, it'll look something like this. And these are the symbols that you see a lot of times in anime or Japanese movies. So that's how I would write Konichiwa in hiragana. Now, a lot of times you're going to see kanji written along with hiragana, and certain words will have kanji written along with it. You can actually substitute certain things for in hiragana for kanji, but the other one is katakana, and that's for foreign words. So I don't need to use katakana here because this is not a foreign word. Konnichiwa is not a foreign word to Japan, so Japanese, so I don't really have to worry about it. So we got our first word. So we walk up to this person and we say konnichiwa. And as we know, the second thing people say, like you say konnichiwa, they say konnichiwa, and the second thing they're going to ask is how are you? And so how do we say that? So you want to ask this first, okay? Don't let them ask you that first. Just say how are you right away. You're going to say how are you, and the way you say that is Genki Desu ka. And the desu ka, the ka part of desu ka, makes it a question. So we would write that like this: Genki Desu ka. Now there is a U in there if you want to write it properly, but remember, I'm only writing this the way you're going to say it. Genki desu ka? How are you? And this one is hello. So we're well on our way to having a really awesome conversation with this person. We walk up to him, we say hello, we say konnichiwa, then we quickly say Genki desu ka because we don't want them asking us that first because we haven't learned the word to be able to respond to that just yet. So we say Genki desu ka, and they kind of go off into some of the stuff that's going on with them, and then they ask Genki desu ka to us. So we have to be able to say something. You don't want to go off into your taxes and, you know, your wife just left you, or your husband just left you, or your dog just left you, or, you know, the demon you were keeping in a bottle just left you. You don't want to go off into all that sort of stuff. You want to just lie and say, I'm fine. That's the easiest way to say, to respond to Genki desu ka when you are not familiar with Japanese. So I don't care if you're not fine. I don't care what's going on in your life. I don't even care if the apocalypse is going on at the moment. You just want to say, Watashi wa genki desu. And that's how you say I'm fine. Watashi wa genki desu. And then you can go learn some more Japanese, then later tell them the details of your life. So the way we would write that is Watashi wa genki desu. Watashi wa genki desu. That's how we would say it. And that means, you know, I'm fine. Now, before this person starts to ask us all kind of questions and, you know, they want to get into some more conversation, we want to quickly end this conversation as soon as possible. So we want to quickly say, hey, nice to meet you and goodbye. So how do we say nice to meet you? We say hajimemashite. Now, this is what you say to people you met for the first time. You don't want to say this to someone you've known for a while, someone you absolutely, especially family members or anybody you're supposed to know. You don't want to say hajimemashite to them. You want to say it for people you've only met for the first time. Now, maybe you had a hit in the head, or you got some mental issues and you can't remember who you met just 5 minutes ago, then perhaps you can go ahead and say hajimemashite. And if you make a mistake and say it, just tell them, hey, I have amnesia. Every 5 minutes I have amnesia. So I have to say hajimemashite to you because I'm just meeting you for the first time every 5 minutes. And so the way we write that is hajime. There's an I in there. I'm not writing it. Again, like I said, I'm only writing it the way we're going to say it, and that means it means nice to meet you for the first time, not simply nice to meet you. Basically, nice to meet you for the first time. Hajimemashite. And so we got our conversation in there. We can say nice to meet you for the first time. Hey, and I gotta go. Goodbye. And now you completed this conversation and you just run for the hills after that. So how do we say goodbye? We're gonna say sayonara for goodbye. So we're gonna say sayonara. And that's gonna be, I'm gonna put it over here. Goodbye. After you say sayonara, run for the freaking hills. Go get a book as fast as possible and start really learning your Japanese phrases. But for right now, we got our conversation down. We've satisfied everybody. We leave them with a smile. We've been able to conversate with somebody, and then we run for the hills and we go study like crazy. I don't care what you're doing. You just study like crazy. You want to study all your phrases, all your kanji, all your katakana, all your hiragana, all that sort of stuff, and just study. All right. So, but for now, on our way to studying, on our way to getting those books, if we run into someone, we could say, hey, Konichiwa. Then we can say, Genki Desu ka? How are you? Watashi wa genki desu. I'm fine. Hajimemashite, nice to meet you for the first time. Sayonara, goodbye. All right, so those are your phrases that you have for today. I'll be going over some more phrases later on. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. And make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.